Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's deep dive on one of the most crucial stories shaping global geopolitics. It's a story about trade wars, diplomacy, and power games, and at the center of it all is the United States, its President Donald Trump, and India. So, guys, why is Trump threatening India with the higher tariffs? Why has this issue become so intense now? And what does it reveal about the changing world order? So, guys, let's break it down. Now, before we analyze the tariff war between India and United States, there are three things you need to know about the Donald Trump. First thing is, Trump doesn't believe in permanent friendships or permanent enemies. His alliances shift based on convenience, friends change, enemies change, depending on what benefits him. Once, India was a close friend to US. Today, not so much. Secondly, Trump is a businessman at heart. His decisions are driven by profit, advantage, and leverage. For him, friendships aren't emotional, they are transactional. Where there is a profit, there you will find Trump. And third, he has two personal ambitions, power and prestige. He wants to go down in history as America's greatest president, and he desperately wants the Nobel Peace Prize. That's not a speculation, it's something he is hinted at the multiple times. And now that he is got another shot at leading America, he is in a hurry to make that happen. So, guys, in the past 24 hours, Trump has once again threatened India with tariffs, this time more than 25%. And this isn't the first time. He has played similar games before with Russia and China, slapping massive tariffs, then cutting deals when it suits him. For example, he once imposed a 145% tariff on China and later reduced it to 30% after negotiations. India understands these tactics well, and as Asian Indian strategist Chanakya once said, any allies that threatens future interests should be reconsidered. Now, India isn't walking away from its partnership with America, but it has made one thing clear: national interest comes first. India will not bow to any pressure. The Ministry of External Affairs recently stated publicly India will buy oil from wherever it gets the best price. That also includes Russia. And guys, here is the irony. The very countries criticizing India for buying oil from Russia, including the US and the European Union, continue to trade with Russia themselves. Last year in 2024, the EU traded billions of dollars with Russia. Even today, the US imports Russian fertilizers, chemicals, and other goods. But when India does the same, suddenly it becomes a global issue. Trump's argument is that by buying oil from Russia, India is funding the Russia's war machine in Ukraine. That's the justification for these tariff threats. But if that logic were consistent, why isn't he targeting China? China buys far more oil and coal from Russia than India does. In fact, from December 22 to June 2025, China bought 47% of Russia's oil exports, while India bought about 38%. Yet Trump is silent on China because China holds something America needs, that is, rare earth minerals. These minerals are essential for smartphones, electric vehicles, and military technology. The US depends on China for them, and China has already started cutting supplies. That's why Trump can't afford to deny Beijing, but India. That's a softer target. Meanwhile, Europe continues to import massive amounts of Russian natural gas. 51% of Russia's gas exports goes to the EU. Without it, Europeans wouldn't survive the winter. So when these countries ask India to stop buying oil, the hypocrisy is obvious. So, guys, here is another twist as well. Trump's tariff war isn't just about oil, it's about politics, his image, his legacy. He wants to project strength, and India is being used as a prop in that narrative. Even members of his own party are questioning this approach. Nikki Haley, a former Republican presidential candidate, criticized Trump for targeting India while giving China a 90-day tariff exemption for buying oil from Russia and Iran. Her words were sharp. Hurting a strong friend like India while sparing China makes no sense. And she is right. Trump's logic here is less about policy and more about optics, showing America that he is tough on trade, even if it means undermining a key ally. Now, guys, let's look at why India isn't backing down. India's response to these threats was firm and unprecedented. On August 4, India issued one of its strongest statements calling for a fair and representative global order, one that is not dominated by a few powers. The message was clear: India will not bend. This is a new India, confident, assertive, and committed to its national interest. And this confidence isn't coming out of nowhere. India is now the world's fastest growing major economy, a rising geopolitical power, and a crucial player in South Asia. For decades, India stayed neutral in the US Russia rivalry but always leaned towards Russia because Russia has been a reliable friend in times of crisis, unlike America, which often sided with Pakistan during the conflicts. And even today, the Indian Army reminded the world of history how from 1954 to 71, the US supplied Pakistan with billions of dollars in weapons, even when Pakistan was at war with India. That memory hasn't faded. So the big question now is the world order changing? Is America losing its grip on global dominance as countries like India assert their independence? One thing is certain. Trump's pressure tactics may have worked in the past, but this is not the old India. This is a nation that negotiates on its own terms. And as for Trump, will this strategy bring him closer to his dream of the Nobel Peace Prize, or will it backfire, straining ties with one of the America's most important partners? Only time will tell us. So, guys, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the US India tariff battle and the shifting sands of global politics. If you found this analysis insightful, stay tuned for more perspectives that go beyond the headlines. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and I will see you guys in the next video.